Alright, everybody. Welcome to a game called DUPERY. It's an anti-social deduction game, so basically just a blood on the clock tower style game, or Demon Bluff if you heard of that. I played a lot of Demon Bluff. So this is the demo. The full game isn't out yet. Um, be sure to check it out if you like it. I'm really into these kind of games. It's basically, find the imposters, whatever. I've played quite a bit already, just on my own time, and I beat the regular difficulty and I unlocked the first challenge and then the second challenge. I'll explain what the challenges mean later. Basically, whatever, like halfway through the game, things will have different. You'll add a passive effect for the rest of the run. So we'll see what we get. Um, anyway, so we need to stop the syndicate from doing evil things. And we get to pick our case. So down here is our reputation. You can think of it as kind of your life. It'll go down if you arrest an innocent person, and it goes up when you solve the case. Uh, Other than that, there are not too many other uses for it as of now, except for if you're in poor, then there's one role who just won't work for you, which is kind of fun. I like that. Anyway, we get to pick our case, and the percentage up there goes to the total bar up here. And if it gets to 100%, then we do the final difficult case. So this is saying this is an easy case. It's only going to add 9%. There's only one bad guy, and the therapist is probably going to be in the match. Now, this one says there are 3 meddlers, which are basically the neutral roles, like they're not on either team. Like, they count as good, but they're not going to be the most helpful. This says there's at least one traitor in town. Traitors are, like, the super-powered bad guys. So we're probably not going to go for this. Let's go for the normal case here. Now, you see a few things we're working with. This is basically our board. In the time pass here, you're not actively timed. I was worried when I saw that I'd be timed when doing it. But no, this is just whenever you investigate a door, time will pass, or whenever you arrest someone, the time will pass. And there aren't that many roles that get affected by time. You can see that there's a clock tower, so we might have a clock maker. Basically, the clock will go off, and we have to mark down what time. We've got a few tools. We've got a pen here, eraser to erase things. We do have these thumbtacks, but you can't do string between them, which is kind of annoying. Like, kind of ruins the fun of it. So we'll just probably be using the pen. Now, these are the list of things, but, like, we're not going to find every single one of these here. These are all the possible suspects. So, but we are going to have both the poisoner and the mobster. The mobster will basically always double claim something that's already there. But we do have to be worried about the copycat, we'll lose reputation if we arrest them, but they also will double claim something else. But they won't lie. Like, the mobster, whatever he will copy, will always give false information or just not work. We do need to be careful of the poisoner. He will taint a surrounding innocent neighbor. And he lies and pretends to be just anything on this possible list. He might not double claim. Tainting is just make someone give false information, but they are not evil. We do want to check all of the possible, we're gonna have 3 of these 4 yellow rolls here, the meddlers. The surgeon will kill an innocent on the 12th hour if they want. They don't always, which can be kind of tricky. Fall Guy, he'll reveal himself as the Fall Guy. No one can claim him. Like, no one can disguise as the Fall Guy, but everybody sees him as evil. So if there are things that are like, my neighbor is evil, there might be a Fall Guy next to him. The Milkman, we don't need to worry about him too much. Just if it's past the 24th hour and we arrested everybody and the game's not over, then we'll arrest the Milkman. So let's go ahead and start opening up some doors. Let's start with 9 here. So 9 is saying this guy right here is evil. Now the thing is, this could be poisoned information. but it seems to be the truth. So we're gonna mark this guy as truth, because this guy is seen as evil. This one is saying there are 2 evil clients. Now that is very likely, because this could be the mobster. Now this could be poisoned, but the fact that it's saying 2 seems very likely, and I'm gonna actually arrest him. Yep, so we got the mobster down. So he is not 2 steps away from the closest evil, which is really interesting because this guy is lying, right? 2 steps away would be 1, 2, the fall guy. So it's almost saying this is evil. So the clock, it's very obvious when the clock chimes, and it would have chimed from 5 to 6 if this is true. So this guy is lying. So we're gonna mark that. And I'm really thinking the mobster just outed his friend here. We're gonna go ahead and reveal this. 2 steps away from the closest evil. Yeah, you're true. So I'm guessing we've got Copycat here. And we've got Fall Guy. The surgeon did not go off. So we probably have a milkman somewhere. See, look, this is where it chimes. So it went from the 14th hour to the 15th hour. Let's see. Pretty sure this guy's evil. The reporter lives in town, never heard of the gossip. 5 to 6, so these are both lying, but that's possible because it could be poisoned, and it could be someone who's poisoned, so they give tainted information and the poisoner. And because this guy's saying 2 steps away, I'm thinking it's this guy. I could have just assumed and arrested him earlier, but I like to gather more information. It doesn't matter how long you take, just rolls will affect it. And I guess you could try to go for the fastest time on each case. Alright, so there's 1 bad guy in the town, and the weatherman is probably in play. It will tell you like 3 different addresses, so 3 different doors, and one of them will have an underling, one of them will have an innocent, and one of them will have a meddler. Let's go for case 2. I kind of like it better. 1 meddler in town and the reporter suspected. The reporter we saw was kind of helpful last time. Alright, so we need to be very careful. There is only 1 meddler, but it could be drunkard, which will disguise itself, but it counts as good. It's very, very annoying. Basically, it's guaranteed tainted. Now, we could have a milkman or a wannabe. Wannabe will basically have one of the bad guys just revealed, but, like, he will reveal a underling, but he also will disguise himself as a revealed underling. So, we need to be careful. Scoundrel will always be revealed as a scoundrel whenever you investigate, but you can't arrest him till the very end. Conman is probably my favorite underling. He pretends to be an in-play role, so he's gonna double claim, but he tells the truth. He doesn't lie. And when he's arrested, he's not revealed as the conman. But it's pretty obvious because we won't lose reputation. Anyway, let's go ahead and open up this. So this is either the scoundrel or the wannabe pretending to be a scoundrel. So we'll wait on that. Vigilante. So this one will basically, if he's not lying or tainted, will shoot somebody, and if they're evil, they'll die. Conman. So, this could be what the wannabe revealed. So we know we've got the wannabe. So that means we don't have the drunkard or the milkman, so we don't need to worry about poisoned information. We've got the wannabe, so we need to be careful about arresting the conman here. Let's go ahead and open another door. We got another vigilante, which could be the conman. I think it has to be the conman since we don't have a double up. Which is really funny because they can't lie about their role, you can make them shoot themselves and they'll die. One, 2, and 3 says there's a imposter a meddler and a crewmate. I'm thinking Among Us right now. So this conman here is actually the meddler, the wannabe, according to the weatherman. Reporter says he's two steps away from the closest evil, so we're gonna actually have the vigilante probably shoot himself. The wife will basically just claim somebody as innocent and just like sort of support them. So this is basically claiming this is true information. It's very obvious if the wife is lying. So we're gonna actually have the vigilante shoot themselves, which is really funny. And because I want to, I'm gonna have the vigilante shoot the scoundrel. Because it does save time, technically. Yeah, you can get the con man to shoot himself, which is really funny. He's so dedicated to the dead. Me for real. Alright, so now we need to be careful because you see these? They will add a modifier for the rest of the run. So let's see what this one is. Deadly aim. The hitman will only kill good rolls. The hitman seems like that's a traitor roll that I haven't seen. Because I don't remember it. Alright, insider loyalty. I lose an extra reputation if I arrest a good roll that is not at the edge of the board. So if I arrest one of the ones that are on the inside, if it's good, then it's bad. That could be difficult. The gossip, which will tell you how many neighbors a thing will have, like it'll say there's one imposter with like 5 neighbors. That means like there's 5 doors around them. It will try to do the traitor every time, which is actually good. So we're gonna take this, even though this fight is gonna be really hard, because we've got a traitor, which is the super difficult rolls. So we don't have both of them, we just have one. So we either have the critic, which makes us lose twice as much reputation, and everybody treats our reputation as poor. So like the skeptic will only help us if our reputation is above 4. So if we see a skeptic that's saying, I don't want to help you, then we know we've got critic. But idle is probably the one that we don't want, because it will taint adjacent neighbors. We've got Spectre, which will basically obscure information on a card. It can even do an imposter. It just won't pick a meddler, a neutral roll to cover up. It doesn't disguise numbers, so we can generally figure out what it is. We do need to be careful about it disguising itself. We might not have it, because we only have 2 underlings, and we have got 3 possible ones. We've got a poisoner here. We've seen poisoner, he'll taint a surrounding neighbor, which means like, it could even do the corners instead of just the adjacent ones. Like, say this was the poisoner, it could only poison 2. Like, if the 2 was the poisoner, it could do 1 and 3. Yeah. Scoundrel, we've seen he just, like, outs himself being like, yo, it's me, the scoundrel. You can't kill me, El Bozo. We've got 2 different meddlers, so from these 4 we only have 2. The Stalker, we'll get to them if we get to them, but basically they can, they'll copy a surrounding neighbor, and they might kill them, which is unfortunate. If they are tainted, they always kill them. So, yeah, but basically we can force them to double up on a roll, which can be helpful, like if we could get a second reporter or something. Milkman, we've seen Milkman. If it passes 24th hour, he might be a liar. If we arrest a youngster, then we lose twice as much reputation. If we've got critic, we pretty much will instantly lose. So we need to not really risk the youngster. Surgeon, we've seen 12th hour, he might kill somebody. Anyway, let's get started. Youngster. So they're claiming to be a youngster in the mix. Reporter says he's 2 steps away from the closest evil, which is impossible because he cannot reach anybody. So he's guaranteed to be lying. That could be poisoned information, it could be idled, poisoned him. So we know you are either lying or drunk, something like that. 2 youngsters. So that means somebody is lying and poisoning you. The thing is, it could be the idol, or it could be the poisoner. One of these youngsters is lying, but we have no way to really check. We could arrest the reporter and hope that he's the lying one. But, he's not. He's tainted. We know he's tainted. It's one of the youngsters that are, bad right now. Saying from 8 to 9, which is actually accurate. So you were telling the truth. No, I should probably use... You know what, I'll use a different... Because I know you freaks will complain like, you're not changing your pen color! So you're telling the truth. So Scoundrel, he outed himself. So we know we've got him. So he's on our list. Because nobody's gonna pretend to be Scoundrel. So we don't know if we've got the Spectre or Poisoner. If we've got the Spectre, that's actually the better case, and then we don't need to worry about the Poisoner, because then we know we've got Idol down here. Mathematician. So he will calculate all the numbers of the evils and add them together to get this designated number. He could be like poison because we've got poisoner, or he could be idol infected. 0 evil clients. That could be true. So this is saying 2 is good. So we know we don't have a critic, so we know we have an idol, because he would have seen us as poor. So we know we don't have this, so we have the idol. So, here's the thing. I don't think this milkman is telling the truth. There could be both of these, or... No, I don't know if they both could be the imposters. And since we don't have Spectred, we know we've got Poisoner. Because we would have found some falsified information. So we know we don't have this. So we've got Scoundrel and Poisoner. Now, here's what we know. We only can have 2 of these. So, one of these is just not in the board. Stalker kills Tainted. Zero evil clients. You could be idle. I don't know. There's a lot going on here. I'm pretty sure... We know one of the youngsters is lying. And then one of these 2 is lying. So we know we've got our idol, our poisoner and idol there. Alright, so we need to start coming to some conclusions here. So we know you're telling the truth, but that doesn't really help us because it's not like we have... I mean... So here's the thing, we could use the Stalker's ability to copy somebody else that might help us. Something that we can guarantee information, like Clock Tower, so we know if you're lying or not. Because we know one of these 2 is lying, and this guy is guaranteed telling the truth. So what we're going to do is we're going to stalk the Clockmaker. Oh, he only can pick surrounding neighbors. That's kind of terrible. Well now we've got 2 milkmen, so, that was probably a bad play. 2 is good. That could be just lying, and you could be telling the truth. We could use Mathematician to help us here, assuming he's telling the truth. So we start at 10, and the total is 20, so we need a combination that adds up to 10 to be the lie. We could have 9 and 1, but that doesn't account for, well, yeah, it could be 9 and 1. I think that's what it is. I think it's safer to guess Milkman here. Yep, we got the idol. So you are tainted information. So because we know all this information is true, so we do 10 plus 1, so we got 9, so you are the poisoner poisoning the reporter. And now, since we got rid of all the evils, we can arrest the scoundrel. We did it! Alright, now we gotta be careful what we add. Evil gaze. At least one evil roll will always be surrounding the crime scene, which is a spot in the board. This is a good thing to have, because we can basically be like, we've got 2 line rolls, but one of them's around the crime scene, so yeah. This is not very good. Our suspect list starts empty, so we basically don't know what we have. If your reputation is not exceptional, which is the highest, 2 innocent rolls become tainted. That is very annoying, and also we've gotten very hard. So we're gonna go with Evil Gaze, with Wannabe. Wannabe is kind of free because he outs an imposter. Alright, but we only have a Surgeon or Wannabe, so we'll see. So we have Wannabe, so we don't need to worry about Surgeon. Now, is Wannabe copying Spectre here? Or is he just, like... So he will copy a in-play thing. So we know we've got a Spectre in the field, but we already kind of knew that. We know one of them is going to be hanging around the crime scene, so one of these 2 is actually the imposter. 13. But the thing is, we have Conman, who's telling the truth. And from what I've seen, Conman seems to always be mimicking an information role. But we know... We'll just see what we've got as a double claim. Okay, so we've got a common Spectre, so one of these is the imposter. So this is obscured information, we don't know what it is. We do know it's got an ability, so it could either be Vigilante or Tailor. If we select it, it says select one role. So this actually, well, it could be Doppelganger as well. So we're gonna see. Okay, so we've got Doppelganger here. We could actually find out what it is. That's funny. So Doppelganger will copy a role with an ability. You can pick him anywhere in the field. It's not like Stalker where it needs to pick a neighbor. Just pick anyone with an ability. If they are lying or tainted, so if they've got false information of any kind, they'll say, I can't really do that, bro. This is saying 9 is evil. I kind of believe that. Ring ring. Clock tower. So that'd be 15, 16. So I'm pretty sure it's this guy. I'm gonna go ahead and doppelgang him. Interesting. So he wasn't lying. So this is a real Tailor. So this is a lying Tailor. This is an imposter Tailor. So you are probably Conman? Yeah, I think you're Conman. Whoopsie. I selected himself. Wait, who is that? Saying something about 6. Oh, he was probably Vigilante and said I couldn't kill 6. So we know this is a good tailor, so we can trust this information. So I'm gonna say, is 9 and 7 on the same team? Not on the same team. So you're not evil. Why are you lying? What else do we have? Yeah. Wait, why are you lying? You've got so much lying, what? Or did I mark it down wrong? 15. There should not be this much false information. Alright. Are the same. Are the same. So you are lying. We got the con man. Oh, we got the con man here! Because it didn't say we arrested the Spectre. That makes more sense. That's why you're probably lying. Who's lying here? We got con man. So you're the wannabe. We don't need to worry about you. Man, it'd be helpful if we had the vigilante, but I accidentally wasted his role. So let's see, 13. So 9. It's probably you. Yep. No, wait. This was the con man. This was... Yeah, because he was telling true information. This was the Spectre. It just... Why would it tell us that if we already knew? So... Anyway, let's continue. We're getting close to the final case. Hitman will only kill good rolls. Don't know what that means still. Suspect list starts with only evil. So the surgeon will always kill. I'm fine with that, but I kind of want to see what this is. Alright, so we only have one underling here, and we know it's surrounding the crime scene. This is the mistress, so we really need to understand the wife role. The wife role will pick an adjacent role and say it's it'll be next to an adjacent good role and say this is my husband or whatever. I love them. Unless if there's a mistress. Mistress will be surrounding the wife's partner and make the wife say I'm jealous. So we know the mistress is one of these three. Strange guy in town has 4 neighbors. Now the only people who could have 4 neighbors are 6 and 7. 6, 7, sorry, I'm so sorry. So if this is telling the truth, then it's 6. If it's lying, then it's the mistress. Let's see what 7 is. So it's picking an adjacent one. So it could be 3 is the thing. So Bloodhound basically picks a cardinal direction to say like what the closest thing is. If it's tied, then it'll bark. If there's none, then he'll sniff. So he's saying 6, 5, or 1. Also, the clock chimed, I think, from like it was either 4 to 5 or 5 to 6. I'm gonna do 4 to 6. Vigilante. You know what, Vigilante? Take your shot. I'll just reveal all of this for you guys. So it pretended to be a Bloodhound, but that didn't matter. Because we never revealed it. Because, like, I guess it saves time. Anyway, super easy case. But that's normal, we picked an easy one. Alright. Partner is more likely to address an underling role. Basically, it will the partner is... It will reveal itself and say, hey, this guy is this. So, that's a really good thing to have. If there are at least 2 meddlers in play, one meddler role is transformed into a not-in-play underling. Oh, that is kind of annoying. Broken radio is really bad because then we can't tell how many of each. So we're actually going to go for the very hard thing. And we've got a traitor in town, which basically make things very difficult. We're going to give it a try. Alright, so we've got the critic or the judge. The critic, we've seen before, basically we lose extra reputation, so we can't just arrest willy-nilly. The judge, um, if it's before the 10th hour, so, like, after the 10th hour, he may just be like, hey, you need to arrest somebody now. Otherwise, he will immediately destroy all of our reputation. So, it forces us to arrest somebody. Now, we've got somebody, possibly, who's gonna really mess me up. This is my least favorite rule, because it's so annoying. Like, I say least favorite, it's least favorite to fight. I really like its place in the game, the accountant. You are so annoying. If it's not dead or arrested, the abilities that we choose to select will be sometimes one, or I think guaranteed, will be one along from my selections. So, we can't use accurate abilities. The preacher, I think, just, like, an extra traitor is suspected when, I am arrested or reveal a not-in-play traitor. Oh, so if we get somebody and we think we get the critic or the judge, and they're still active, then that means, like, the preacher was lying. So, basically, if we arrest a purple roll, it might not be the purple roll. We're gonna hope for scoundrel, we're not gonna have one of these. Mistress, it would be pretty obvious if we got them or not. Surgeon. Okay, so that's one of our two meddlers. We need to be very careful about the time passing, because we've got Chatterbox. So when investigated, 2 extra hours pass. If there's an evil roll in the same row, then an additional hour passes. So we need to keep an eye on the time. So, but we could also check if it, like, turns from even to odd, unless if we arrest somebody. So, let's go ahead and check here. Got a tailor. We should be investigating around the crime scene because we know one evil roll is always going to be surrounding the crime scene. Private Eye. After the 10th hour, he will announce the address of an uninvestigated underling. Gossip. So someone has 2 neighbors. So that could be either the tailor, the 9th door, or the 11th door. But it's going to try to do... Because we've got Dark Whispers, it's going to try to do the traitor. 5 is an underling. Okay, that could be falsified information, though. Oh, okay, this is bad. So the surgeon went off, and we know we've got Judge, since we gotta arrest somebody now. We could take the gamble on 5. We know somebody's surrounding the crime scene, so we could go for 9. Do we trust the private eye? It could be just lying. Alright. We gotta pick somebody. We know it's not 7. Do we want to go for the gossip information and try to get 9 here? Because that's what I would do, because it surrounds the crime scene, so technically it's better. Or do we want to go with this information, which could be pretty much lying, because... Let's see, if the private eye lies... I think we're going to arrest number 9. Okay, we got the judge. Probably. It could be the... Well, because we're hoping for gossip information to be true, so, we probably did get the judge. We'll see. So you're saying the private eye is lying, or the traitor is lying. Huh. I wasn't paying attention to the time, that's my bad. But, theoretically, this, I think, outed themselves as a bad guy, because we have only done investigations which has 2-hour increments, and then 1 arrest which is a 1-hour increment. So I think the chatterbox actually just outed itself as, like, well, no, it could have been saying the truth. Never forgive my partner. The clock tower is kind of pointless, but I'll write 16. 17. We've got 3 underlings, which is really annoying, so we've got so much misinformation. I can kind of confirm you as true. 0 evil clients. I think you're lying, but that's just a hunch. If we want to go with private eye information, it's most likely lying. Wife is gonna pick a nearby thing. So, the thing is about the wife here, it would have to pick therapist, right? But mistress tries to surround it. So, like, because chatterbox can't be a thing. Let me see what you say. Not in the same alignment. Which is weird, because... Oh, we've got this. Northeast, south. So, wait, you're lying, bruv. And we already have a bloodhound. I'm gonna arrest you. Got 4 and 6. Okay, so... Yeah, we got rid of the accountant. The accountant messed up our information. So you're probably telling the truth. And we've got the preacher, because we haven't found scoundrel. Wanna go north? Let's say 5 is an underling, because we know this isn't an underling, so we've got 2 meddlers. And I guess this could have been a meddler, but I think you're lying. Okay, so that was wrong. So that means you are lying. There's the preacher. So now we've got just mistress left. And wife could have picked... Wife could have picked, this as the thing, and then the bloodhound, or the private eye could have been, the mistress. So I think it's bloodhound, because, you know, you're dead. Technically, therapist could be, but that doesn't make sense. So we're gonna do this. Alright, final case. Very hard. At least 1 traitor in town, and the drunkard. Drunkard is very annoying. We hate the drunkard. 4 is the mailman. More likely to address. The thing is, like, even if this guy's lying, he's gonna say something, so... So, mailman says vigilante lives in town, and they've never heard of the mathematician. So if there's a mathematician, then they could be lying, or the mailman's lying. So, since we've got a face-up accountant here, why is it guaranteed? Why did it just face up? That makes no sense. I did not investigate. Yeah, I did. So what happened is the wannabe... Did the wannabe... Oh, the wannabe tried to do... So the accountant disguised as a partner, which outs himself. So accountant tried to disguise as a partner, but uh, the wannabe outed the accountant, so we actually have a wannabe in play. So if we find a face-up role, we know it's the wannabe. We got rid of the accountant, which is good, because now we can trust our roles. We've got, two more of these, so we've got the Spectre, Priester, Poisoner. We do have Judge or Idol, so we need to be careful about false information. And we haven't found the crime scene surrounder. Let's go ahead and do 9. We've got Taylor, he tells you what team things are on. Vigilante, that's a really good one now that we got rid of the accountant. 0 evil clients, so they're claiming both of these are good. They've never heard of the mathematician, though, so it could be poisoned information. Never heard of the mathematician. You missed 6. You could be lying, though. You love 11. So the thing is about wife, is if they're lying, then they just pick an imposter. So we can actually just arrest you. There's the poisoner. And arrest you. There's the idol. Well, it could be idol. It could be preacher. And there's our surrounder crime scene. So, poisoner, poisoned, vigilante here, or mailman. So the mathematician does live in town. Okay, so the priest is it says, I am the priest. Unless he's lying or tainted, then he says something else. It says, well, the idol could be here. But he's basically, he is, he's drunk or something. We could have drunkard here, or it could be an imposter, because it says, I'll be the priest, which is not accurate. So I'm gonna Taylor to see if he's on the same team. Not on the same team. That could still be drunkard. Poisoner. So you are the wannabe here. So we found you. Okay, so this was the preacher, and we've got a judge in our midst. 3 steps away from the closest evil. Are you lying? It could be lying. We've got to arrest somebody. Technically, we could use mathematician to add up. Because we've got 1 plus 11 plus 10. 11 plus 10 is 21. We got 22. So this would have to be the imposter. There we go. Because we calculated to the 24. Alright, so we actually win this case. Yay, we win! Let's go! And now we've got hard mode. Let me know if you want to, like, see another one of these. Because, like, we could do Quirk Challenge 3, which I think we would just, like, start off by picking those passive effects. Anyway, this is super fun, and I really want to play this again, but let me know if you want me to record it and show it to you guys. Like, I'll be playing this on my own time, obviously, because it's just so much fun. I like trying to figure out and use my brain correctly, and then see my mistakes when I accidentally, like, use all the tailors on one thing, and then realize I don't have any more information giving rules left. Anyway, see you next time, chat. I'm out. Gotta go eat the new Baja Blast pie or whatever, because from Taco Bell, because that thing looks cool.